Welcome back, everybody. Day 2 of this 5-day journey, this 5-day understanding of the best day ever mindset and where we're taking things. And so yesterday you guys went through the webinar with Jason and I, and then you followed along with the worksheet, did some of the things within that worksheet. I hope you were able to just declutter your mind, your space, all of those things, logged on and followed the meditation, and then did some journaling with that as well. And so today is day 2. Day 2 within this journey is phase 2, which is identity. So we start by decluttering, getting rid of any false beliefs, and now it is time to focus on identity. And this is where we really start to understand who we are, understand what we've gone through, and where we want to go.
I think one of the most important things that we want to focus on in this section is where we came from, where we are now, where we want to lead to, but what are the conditions that have got us to where we are now? In the way that you did in phase 1, when we introduced set and setting, the way that your environment influences your mindset and your mindset influences your environment, is a very just moment in time reflection on the way that those two things interact. But another term that you guys are very familiar with is nature versus nurture. And understanding that the environment in which we grew up, what school we went to, what sports we played, who we were around. As a kid, we weren't really in control of a lot of that. However, that environment, certainly, that nature certainly built us up into who we are today somewhat and started to shape who we are. How you were nurtured, the people who took care of you, the people who raised you, how you kind of raised yourself, all bring into a big confluence of also who you are today. So it's always nature versus nurture. What's stronger? I think both sides definitely have significant influence on who we were and who we are today. And one of the big things that you can carry over from reset is to start to understand and take away all of the non-essential things, right, that have gotten you to this point. So what can you strip away that's no longer serving you? I think if you look back and we start to work through any type of fear setting exercise, if you start to look at where you consistently find challenge in your personal life, for me, a personal anecdote, I really dislike interpersonal conflict. And that is just a struggle that I've always had. I don't like that. And it's interesting to think, okay, well, where did things occur in the past that are now influencing the way that I think about things in the present, and maybe how that's keeping me from pursuing better things in the future or not addressing those things before they inevitably come up. And I think identifying some of those biases that we have, identifying some of that resistance, identifying some of those challenges that consistently come up for us, whether that's due to how we were nurtured or due to the nature of where we grew up, is really important in understanding where we came from, where we are now, and how we want to move forward.
And with that, I agree. I think there's so much to think about. When we think about identity, this word and our mind goes in so many different places. And I think one of the things we have to consider is just understanding where we are today and all the events and things that have gotten us there. And then from today, making that choice to say, okay, well, I was taught as a kid to always say please and thank you. So that's a good thing. But I also grew up in an environment where X, Y, and Z might have happened that made me not really understand empathy, or think that my ego is important, or thinking that winning is the only way to be successful. So then you have to really start to understand those things and say, are these things that I want to continue on? And I think that's like the majority of what this day is all about. It's really understanding where you are, what got you to that point, and then making sure that you're just understanding that, you know, a lot of the things that you do, a lot of the actions that you take are things that were kind of given to you through your past. And now we have this kind of like awakening of being like, oh, I understand that, you know, I even like little small ticks, like, oh, I always scratch my head here. And then you go home and then you're like, wait, my dad always scratches his head here, or simple things like that. That's just a small example of something, but the way in which you approach the day, the way in which you get up in the morning, or are you going to bed late, all of those different things affect who you are and affect who you want to be. And I think one of the coolest things that's happened to me is through meditation, and tonight's meditation is going to be amazing to think about this, is just to really reflect on that and just be understanding of you are where you are today. And then getting to the point of really being like, I am this way. So now I have the choice to move forward, which really is what our best day ever mindset is all about. It's all about this understanding of I am where I am, but I have the choice to move forward. And I think a lot of people have these two different types of mindsets. And I think there's this victim mindset and there's a growth mindset. And if you get anything from this course, from this 5 days, it is live on the growth mindset. And that doesn't mean that every single day you have to wake up and accomplish 800,000 things. But what it does mean is that you have to identify yourself as somebody that is moving forward, is somebody that's trying to progress, and not somebody that every single thing that happens around you, you feel like it's happening to you. And once you can identify yourself as like, I'm optimistic, or I'm positive, or I'm thinking about growth, and I'm thinking about how this is a new opportunity, things that come at you. And Jason and I can attest to this. We both had major injuries and surgeries. We took those on as opportunities to grow from that and didn't victimize ourselves from that. So I think everybody has things that have happened to them. We need to understand where we are today, and then we need to live in the process of growing and moving forward.
Some of that reflection is understanding the story that you tell yourself. If the story that you tell yourself is, poor me, why do these things keep happening to me? Why can things never go my way? It's just the fact that we make our own luck, and the fact that we have the freedom of choice to move forward, that we have the freedom of choice not to play victim and to take control. That freedom of choice is the foundation of this mindset. It is the foundation of pursuing physical goals, personal goals, professional goals, is to take control of your future. And to understand that the most important conversation that you have all day is the conversation that you have with yourself. So in this step, we're going to create some affirmations in creating some primary beliefs and understanding how you might need to change or improve a certain mindset, a certain line of thinking, things that you think about, things that you focus on or prioritize, in order to create a better sort of mission statement, a statement of why, and then values that stem off of that in order to pursue the purpose that you want, rather than letting life dictate that for you. This is time for you to take control of who you are now, despite the challenges of where you came from, in order to move in the direction that you want to go. And there is a very specific process by which we do that. We model it essentially off of the way a business might get created, because something we talk about a lot is that you are the entrepreneur of your own health. You are the CEO, you are the salesperson, you are the marketing person, you are the lawyer, you are the accountant, you are everything. And there are lots of people who can help you with those functions, but ultimately you are in charge of the person that you are, how you think, how you behave, how you act and interact with others. And that is a very important starting point in order to be able to move forward and actually start accomplishing your goals and actually start moving towards things that you find purposeful.
Love that. And I think today is such an important day on this journey because of where you're at. So now you've decluttered your mind. You've given yourself the opportunity to think this way. And I think today's worksheet is super helpful because we go through a lot of the things that Jason mentioned. And then once you finish that and you go through the meditation and then just take some time to freeform journal on our prompt, you're really going to just start to understand who you identify yourself to be. And a lot of that looking in the mirror is super important, because you start to see what's really holding you back. And the majority of growth happens in the stuff that's hard. So when we identify and we start to really realize, like, take a real good look at yourself and say, you know, I have these challenges and now I'm going to go out and do them. And then that's what the next couple of days are all about. It's about, I really understand where I'm at. I have a clear headspace. Now, how do I go make that happen? And so that's what we're going to talk about over the next few days. The next few phases are going to be awesome. And I know Jason and I love these ones because we actually start to put action into it and put the plan into action. So we thank everybody for popping on for day 2, phase 2, identity. And we wish everybody the best day ever.
Let's go.
Peace.